What is up, guys? This is the ZoosTuber, and today I am back with Q&A number 25. I want to say one thing. Once again, I apologize for the lack of uploads. Just it's the holidays. I'm busy. Finished finals last week, so things have been moving very slowly for me. I know you guys understand. In case any of my cousins are watching this, David and Victoria and Emily Elizabeth and everyone else, I did not forget to wear the shirt. I'll be wearing it next time. Don't worry. I promise. Anyway, for the rest of you, let's get right into these questions. So, from Levi Ibarra, if you could be either Rick or Daryl, who would you be? Q&A question. I want to be Rick because just Rick's my favorite character. He's awesome, and Daryl doesn't shower, and you gotta shower. I mean, come on, that's just so grimy. Thank you for your question. From Jimmy Barrett. If you could choose for a character to come back to life on the show, what character would that be? Also, keep up the great work, Zeus. Thank you, I will. One character, definitely Herschel, just because everyone loved Herschel. He was just such a great character, and he was the moral compass of the group, and I think the group is really lacking in that right now. Or at least, to Herschel's extent, Herschel was like the epitome of the moral compass, and they haven't had someone like him in a very long time. So I think they need someone like him, which Deanna could have been, but obviously that didn't happen. Thank you for your question. From Go Ronin, do you think Negan is going to kill Glenn? I could go either way on that. It remains to be seen. Maybe, maybe not. I don't have a definitive answer for that. I'm sorry. From Tabitha Yang, do you think a major character will be killed off? Yes, I think several will be killed off in 6B. I think that it needs to happen since no major characters died in a very long time. I mean, I guess Deanna was a major character, but not from the main group, at least. From Go Ronin again, do you think Dwight will kill Daryl? It's definitely a possibility. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of my other videos where I talked about it. I think it's definitely plausible. Will it happen? Remains to be seen, though. From Dawood Ahmed, what is love? It's a good question. I don't know. I'm 18. Also from Dawood Ahmed, do you think Ryan will survive the episode? Also, your videos are great. Keep them up. Thank you. I will. I don't think he will survive episode 9 at all. I think he is as good as dead at this point. From Daniel Lewis, when taking into consideration contracts and willingness of actors, producers, etc., realistically, how many seasons do you think TWD can go for? I say 12, but at that point, the actors' contracts will be very high. Yeah, I think 12 at least as well. I would agree with that. I mean, most of the actors are willing because they love this job, or at least they claim to love it in all their interviews. So I don't think they're going to want to get killed off anytime soon. I know Jeffrey DeMunn, who played Dale, wanted to get killed off because there was some behind-the-scenes problems with Frank Darabont and so forth, because Frank Darabont and him were very close prior, working on Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption and so forth. And I believe he was also in The Mist. I think Jeffrey DeMunn was in that as well. He played Dale. Yeah, so there was some behind-the-scenes drama there. That's why Dale didn't want to be a part of it anymore, or Jeffrey didn't want to be a part of it anymore because they were letting Darabont go. But if something like that doesn't happen, I don't think there'll be any problems with that. 12 seasons at least, and then if the show keeps making money, then I think they keep it going. Thank you for your question. From Robert Gerjensen, what things do you like least about season 6? What things do I like least? That's a good question. I haven't had a problem with a lot of the things in season 6. Really anything. I've really enjoyed it. I guess maybe the one thing that comes to my mind is just character screen time, that we've been getting a heck of a lot of no one character has had too much screen time, I don't think, but at the same time, we're not getting enough of Heath, because he's a new character that is big in the comics. We kind of we were expecting to see a lot of him in 6A, but we really didn't. We got to see a little bit in the premiere, and then a little bit in the 3rd episode. But since then, he has been non-existent. So I want to see more of him. I want to see more of Daryl, which Gimple says we'll see more of him in season 6B. So I'm not too worried about that. But just how much they've been utilizing a lot of the background characters is especially Heath, because he has the potential to be a main character. They're not taking that step with him yet. We'll have to wait and see, though. That's my biggest complaint. From Benji, I'm rewatching the series, and I would like to know, how is everyone at the farm related? So how is Jimmy and Patricia connected to Herschel, Maggie, and Beth? Okay, so for those of you, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Herschel is obviously, as you guys know, he's the father of Maggie and Beth. Jimmy is not related to their family at all. He was Beth's boyfriend, and he was on the farm at the time of the apocalypse, and he happened to stay there and just help out. They were dating, and Patricia, I don't remember, because I think they changed things up in the comic and the show. I don't remember how she's related. To be honest with you, she might have been a friend of the family. I know she was related to Otis. She was married to Otis, and Otis was a friend of the family. So they probably were just two good friends of the family, Patricia and Otis. I don't think they were blood relatives of Herschel. I know Otis definitely wasn't. Patricia might have been. I don't think that was really clarified. I could have missed that, but definitely Maggie and Beth are Herschel's daughters. Jimmy is just was Beth's girlfriend, but Beth's boyfriend, and Patricia was married to Otis, and Otis was not part of their family. So maybe she was related. I don't know, but that's what I remember, at least off the top of my head. Thank you for your question. From Aaron Lewis, do you think Maggie will die this season? No, I don't. I mean, we just saw that she cut her hair. It's not really a spoiler. It's been in some official photos that have been released from like magazines, and she was at the premiere party with her hair cut short. But that is what happens in the comics too, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. I just think they're transitioning her into her comic book storyline, taking over the hilltop and so forth, or becoming more of a leader at least. Thank you for your question. From Saroma TWD, what do you think the Rick and Daryl episode will be like? From what I've heard, it's not a Rick and Daryl standalone episode. Like, it doesn't just focus on them, which is they're going to be the central focus of it. And I believe that episode is episode 10, where Jesus gets introduced. So I got a feeling we're going to see them go off, maybe on a run of sorts. Maybe they get into some trouble with the Saviors, maybe, or just some walkers, and Jesus comes in and saves them. I did hear some rumors. It is rumors. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. That they get into some kind of argument, which isn't really that big of a deal since they've argued before and they usually get over it. And maybe Jesus has to go and like split them up, be like, "Yo, guys, relax, something of that sort." But I think it's episode 10. It's probably not going to be like the episode that I think some people, including myself, are hoping for. Like when I first found out it was a Rick and Daryl episode, part of me was hoping it was a bottleneck episode where it was just the two of them going off and being badasses. Like, that season 5 promo where Rick and Daryl are firing their assault rifles back to back in slow motion. Like I was really hoping it'd be something like that. At least my first gut instinct, which I know that's not realistic, but a guy can hope, right? But yeah, I don't think it'll be like that. I'll probably just focus on their, my brother dynamic a little bit. Thank you for your question. From Alvaro Espalat, I probably butchered your last name. I apologize. What do you think is going to happen with Abraham and Rosita? There's probably going to be some tension there, especially if Rosita sees Abraham becoming very fond of Sasha. If they continue down that route. Probably be a little bit of tension there, but I don't think it's going to escalate into anything big. She might just be like, "All right, well, screw you. I'm going to go date Spencer," or something of that. So I don't think it will be that big of a deal, to be honest with you. From John Anderson, who is your favorite bad guy on the show? Well, so far, because Negan hasn't been introduced yet, so far it's been the Governor. But Negan will definitely take the gold as soon as he's introduced in the finale. Thank you for your question. From Tom Robertson, do you think Morgan will sacrifice himself for the rest of the group and volunteer to be killed by Negan to redeem himself for not killing the wolf? This is a very similar question to one I answered a few episodes back. I don't think it's possible. It's possible. I don't think so. I got a feeling... actually, I think that might actually happen if, let's just say, Rick finds out that Morgan knocked Carol out and let the wolf go. Obviously, Morgan didn't let the wolf go on purpose, but, because of him, he got away. If Rick finds out about that, he's probably going to exile him, and then we might not see Morgan for a few episodes, and then maybe Morgan comes back and saves the group, or saves somebody, or sacrifices himself and ends up getting killed. Something of that sort. I'll probably work it in if they do. That's definitely very plausible. From Felix Lopez, Q&A, do you think the ants that are in the beginning of the episode got on Sam and are crawling on him, biting him, etc.? This is the reason why he's calling out for his mom at the end of the episode. No, I don't. I believe those ants are just a metaphor, so to speak. A metaphor, right? Where they're meant to show basically foreshadow. I mean, not, I guess not foreshadow, so we know what's going to happen, but they're just basically showing the walkers coming into Alexandria and taking it over. Basically, the ants coming through the window are the walkers going through the wall, and Alexandria is essentially that cookie there that was left, or cookie or the burger or whatever is left on his plate there, and they're taking it over. That's basically meant to represent Alexandria as a whole. It's just kind of a symbolism. It's symbolizing that. Thank you for your question. From Goonsack Steve. Hey Zeus, just wondering if you have any idea where Tobin went after Rosita and Tara help him off the ground in the mid-season finale. Okay, so we like you said, we see them pick him up and then we don't see him again after that. In a deleted scene, maybe in the Blu-ray, we might get to see that maybe he actually, after he was able to get up, I don't think he was injured. I think he was just kind of stunned by it because, I mean, yeah, his head was bleeding, but I don't think he was able to unable to run. So maybe he ran to his house because we know he has a wife there in Alexandria. We've seen her before, so maybe he ran to his house. Maybe we'll see that in episode 9. But I don't think he's dead yet. They would have shown us that, I believe. Also, with Morgan being possibly chosen to face Lucille, do you think he might volunteer for someone else, let's say Daryl, due to his views on life? I can just imagine his finale line before dying being, "All life is precious, Daryl." That's very similar to the previous question from Tom. Like I said, it would be in Morgan's character to sacrifice himself. It's very reasonable. I think it'd be a satisfying arc for him, considering how things have played out for him this season already. So it would be a satisfying arc, in my opinion. I would be happy with that if he at least attempted to sacrifice himself. Who knows if it will actually work? But yeah, I could see him, making the effort. And that being his final line would also be very dramatic and sad, and I think it would work for some good quality television there. Also, do you think it may be too soon to kill off Morgan since he only recently joined the cast after such a long period? Anyway, keep up the good work. Thank you. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty mixed on that because yes, Morgan did just join the cast. Essentially, I'm gonna say 9 episodes ago because he technically, I'm going to say he joined in the season 5 finale because he had plenty of scenes with Daryl and Aaron, and then obviously, well, not plenty, but he was in the finale for most of it. Then he obviously was a series regular up from season 601 or episode 601 to now. So yeah, I guess it might be still too early, but we might feel differently by the time 616 comes around. That's still 8 more episodes down the line. When the finale would probably be 90 minutes. So we might feel differently about that now, or about that then in the finale. But now I think no, it's not too early because the writers have kind of written him into a corner where most fans at this point, unfortunately, are not too fond of Morgan at this point because he has not been acting the way we want him to, as viewers. I understand where he's coming from, but as viewers, I think most of us are like, oh, screw you, Morgan, you just Hulk smashed Carol there, and you're getting people killed. So they want to see him get exiled or killed, unfortunately. So I think a lot of people won't mind if he gets killed off. But yeah, is it too soon? It remains to be seen. I'm going to have to revisit this answer towards the end of season 6. Thank you for your questions. From TDIAN Aliveson. TDIAN Aliveson? Okay. Q&A. Why do viewers think characters like Morgan, Tyrese, and Father Gabriel are weak just because they won't kill? Is it because everyone is hooked on being a Billy badass, or big badass? And to be honest, I relate to Tyrese more than anyone in the show. I think people, I don't know. I think you have a point there. I don't understand why people do that because, yes, I think a lot of people who watch the show are like, oh, they're being weak. I would definitely be able to do that. They don't know. Like, I could watch the show and be like, oh yeah, I'd definitely be a badass. I'd kill all these walkers or do what I have to do to survive. But I don't know how I'm gonna act if I'm put in that actual situation. Like, if I was in the train car in real life, I would be freaking out. I wouldn't be like Rick and his group, most likely. Like, we're gonna get out of this. They're screwing with the wrong people. I'd be like, I don't know. I haven't been in a similar situation to even base my reaction off of it. So I can't really say for sure, and I don't think most people can either. So to say a character is weak because they won't kill is kind of unfair in my opinion, because you don't know how you'd react. You could be considered a weak character too if you were on the show. I mean, when I say that, it's kind of a general statement. I don't know. I mean, it has to do with their morals. I think they're stronger characters in sense of their morals if they don't want to kill people or they don't enjoy it. Because when you reach the point when you're just killing and it's not affecting you, yes, it is in a sense a necessary skill to have, so to speak, in the apocalypse. But at the same time, you're losing your humanity, which actually makes you weaker in the long run should the world come back to normal. So it's a give and take type of thing. You gotta always weigh it out. But no, I don't think they should be weak just because of that. I think Gabriel was definitely weak because of just how cowardly he was in general. Not because he didn't want to kill, it's just because he was just putting all his problems on Rick's group and blaming them. But in reality, he was just kind of blaming himself. So he was weak in that sense. And Tyrese was a badass. I think he wasn't weak. He was just he had strong morals. He didn't want to kill if he didn't have to. And I think Morgan isn't weak. He's had a change in ideology. As we've seen throughout the show, he's a badass. He can kill. He's just going through a different phase in his mental thought processes, right, and his ideologies. Thank you for your question from The Ant. Do you think the wolf will shoot Carl or nobody will kill Carl? Because Carl told Ron to give him the gun. It's either going to be the wolf shooting Carl in the eye or Ron takes the gun from Jesse's holster on her side. One of the two, but it's got to happen. I don't think Carl's going to die. He's just going to lose his eye like in the comics. Also from Andrew Atkins. Q&A, do you think we will have any more bottle episodes this season? I personally love them. Gimble did say that he is going to allow the plot to take over more so than characters in Season 6B, which I interpreted that as we're going to get a lot more action-packed episodes, because he says he's out of his comfort zone doing that because he likes the characters to drive the story, which means he likes those intimate character moments where they're just kind of talking. And he says he wants the plot to drive the season for 6B, which is very different than what they've been doing recently. So I would say we're going to get less bottle episodes, if any, this second half. But I don't think that's the end of them, since Gimble did say he loves doing those. So if we don't get them in 6B, we'll get them in 7A and so forth. We're always going to get them, because I think a lot of people do in fact like them. And when they're done right, they're enjoyable episodes. Like I loved the Morgan episode. A lot of people didn't because it was too slow or BS like that. But I thought it was great. It was very well written and well acted, and that is all you need, to be honest with you. From Stephen Klein, Q&A, would you like to see a Walking Dead episode done in 3D? No, I would not. From George Lopez, Q&A, Jesus. You know how in the comics Father Gabriel was not in the gut scene? How do you think it will play out since he's holding Ron's hand? And it was rumored that Ron shoots Carl. Love you, man. Keep it up. Thank you. I don't think Father Gabriel is gonna change things up too much. I mean, he probably will be like, "What's going on?" Maybe not quite like that, but I think it's basically gonna happen. Sam freaks out. He starts getting chowed. Jesse starts getting pulled down with him, and then she's holding on to Carl. Carl's like, "Ooh, baby Judith," which baby Judith actually adds a whole other level of just danger to this scenario, because baby Carl's holding Judith, so something happens to him, she's in trouble too. Yeah, it's not looking good for anyone in that scenario, except for Rick. Father Gabriel, and Michonne. I don't think Father Gabriel's in danger anytime soon, to be honest with you. He's still alive in the comics. I think Jesse's whole family, dead. But the other three, I think they'll be fine. Except, I don't know about Judith, though, because of Carl, even if Carl doesn't get chowed, if he gets shot in the eye, he's going to drop. And then he's either going to let go of Judith, which is bad already, or he's going to fall on her like Laurie does in the comics, which is just so bad. It's so bad. So it's not looking good for anybody. It gives me anxiety thinking about it, to be honest with you. So many possibilities, but yeah, I don't think it's looking too good for anyone. I think Father Gabriel will be fine, though, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll change it up too much. He might, because he's in the back, or at least he's behind Ron, and there's Michonne, so he might, I think he'll just kind of freeze up if something starts happening. Thank you for your questions. From Naomi Marquez, Q&A. Dear Zeus, you know how in episode 5 when Rick and Jesse make out, do you think it was the part in the comic when there is no power and the walkers are on the gates? No, I don't really think that. No. I think that's just, it's just a scene in the show. I don't think that scene in particular where they're kissing is meant to have any comic relevance. I mean, obviously in the comics there's a little bit of a fling there, but I don't think it's meant to be anything too symbolic. They're just, she's starting to trust him more again, and they kissed. Just to make things even more tragic in episode 9 when she inevitably dies. It's not a spoiler, it's just, it's gonna happen. Let's face it. It's gotta happen. It's gotta. Because Jessie is not comic book Andrea. I'm saying that right now. She's not. She is not. Thank you. Q&A, also from George Lopez. Hey Zeus, do you think we will see Jesus in episode 9? P.S. Me and my friends, Giovanna, Sunny, and Jesus are big fans and talk about you a lot. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. I think we'll see Jesus in episode 10. Episode 9 will most likely be completely Alexandria once again, dealing with No Way Out. Towards the end of it, we might get, the aftermath, but I think Jesus will definitely be in episode 10, and not before then. Thank you for your questions. Thank you guys for your support. From Dank Red Spy. Do you think Glenn or Daryl will get a bat in the skull? Either will work. Thank you. From Logan Elkins, Q&A. So if and when Jesus comes to the show, do you think he would come in some dramatic way? Also, do you think Jesus could make a huge impact on the show? Yes, he'll make a huge impact because he's going to be there forever. I mean, he's still alive in the comic, and he has a huge role from when he's introduced to where he's at now. He's just awesome, too. I don't think Jesus is one of those characters. You can't kill Jesus. He's Jesus. For those of you who don't know the comics, I'm not talking about, Christ. I'm talking about a guy whose name is Paul Monroe, whose nickname is Jesus, and he looks like Jesus. If you didn't know that already, then I'm sorry to hear that. But, he'll have a big impact on the show, and yes, he's got to come in a dramatic way because they have to establish his character from the get-go of what he's all about. He's got to come in, do some martial arts, badassery, and make a name for himself. Because if he just comes in and is like, hey, I'm Jesus, or something cheesy like that, he'll be like, what? Thank you for your questions. From SB McLovin. How long do you think Negan will be around for? Let's see. Well, obviously, he gets introduced in the Season 6 finale, so he'll be around because Season 7 will be the build-up to All Out War, probably all of that. So that will probably build up to All Out War. Season 8 will be All Out War, and then 9 will be like what comes after and so forth. Or what comes after All Out War. I think Negan will be here for at very, very least 3 seasons, but most likely more. Thank you for your question. He might not be obviously the main villain for 3 seasons, but he'll be in the show for 3 seasons at least. From the B-Man 800, Jesus, I've never read the comics, but I heard some information about the whole Negan thing coming up soon. And do you know why Negan's bat is called Lucille? Always wanted to know. Keep up the great work. That's actually a good question. I don't remember if they mentioned that in the comics. I don't think they did. Why his bat was called Lucille? I mean, Negan is just a narcissistic, psychopathic. He's crazy, and he's very profane, as you guys know who have read the comics. I think, and he's very. Negan is in love with this bat in a very weird, psychotic way, and I think he just named it Lucille, and so it's kind of like his wife, so to speak. I don't remember if Lucille was the name of someone he used to know. I don't think it was ever explained. I just think he's a bat named Lucille. That's weird, but I like it, like that kind of thing. I don't think it was ever explained. But thank you for your question. If any of you guys know and I don't, then comment below and respond to the B-Man 800's question in the comments section here. Help them out. Thank you for your question. From MC Chino, Q&A, Jesus, how do you think they'll play out the Morgan and Carol story? Do you think that she won't remember anything that happened? P.S. Shout out to Giovanna, and I love you, Zeus. Thank you. I love you too. She'll probably remember, and it's probably going to be a big confrontation whenever it gets out. Carol's probably going to open a can of whoop-ass on Morgan, or she's going to rat him out to Rick, and then Rick's going to exile him, something of that sort. I don't think she's going to kill Morgan. just because Rick probably won't let her. Also from MC Chino Q&A. Why isn't your superfan vid on the Talking Dead website? Oh, and I'm a rapper and I'm working on a song for you. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear it. That is pretty cool. I'll definitely have to feature that in a video whenever that's done. That's pretty cool. I like that. Why isn't I don't know. I was talking to Ronnie Hayes about this a few weeks ago, probably more like a month ago now. We were like, hey, why aren't our videos on their website? We don't know. I submitted it via the email submission. I got an email back saying thank you for your submission, so it got through fine. But I haven't heard anything else. I think we were robbed. I don't know why Ronnie wasn't put on there, because he doesn't do spoilers or anything like that. I do spoilers, so I could see why AMC might not want me on Talking Dead. Just because they probably don't like me very much, to be honest with you. Although I don't really do too many spoilers that much anymore. I mean, occasionally, rarely, but I don't really want to know myself, to be honest with you. Everything I know, I do know a few things, so I won't lie. But I don't know a lot of different things that have been released. I know Ronnie doesn't do spoilers, and he's very active in the community with Skybound and Walking Dead and so forth. So I mean, I don't really know why they didn't pick him. I don't know. We got robbed. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I can't wait to hear the rap. Thank you for your questions, MC Chino. MC Chino, is that your rapper name? Because that's pretty awesome. From Jason Arita, if Glenn lives past Negan and the season finale, how do you think he will die in the show, if at all? If he lives past Negan, I think he's either going to die in All Out War or not at all. That's what I think. If he survives Negan and then All Out War, he's going to survive to the end and be like, the golden boy, so to speak. He's been there since the beginning, and he's kept his morals. That could be a pretty good ending to the show, now that I think about it. If everyone dies except for Glenn, and he gets through it without ever losing his humanity, I think that would be a pretty, compelling ending. I mean, Glenn lives on and become a leader of his own group. Glenn is the leader of the New World. I would like that. Thank you for your question. From Reed Cochran, I got 2 questions to ask you, Zeus. Okay, question number 1. If you were to bring a new survivor into the show, what would their name be? What gender would they be? What role would they play? And what would their lifespan be? How many episodes or seasons would they last? And what would their death be? That's a pretty good question. It's kind of similar to ones I've gotten before, but that is a little more in-depth than I've gotten. What would their name be? Okay, well, let's start with gender. I'm going to say male. No, I'm going to go female. And they are the next president of the United States, or whoever the president. They were the president within the world of The Walking Dead. What role would they play? They'd be a government. They would find them in a bunker on a supply run to DC, with some Secret Service guys. And what their role would play? It would be shock value. Hey, the president's still alive, and then maybe they'd give us some information on how some other parts of the world held up to the apocalypse. I know Jenner talked about the French being the last to survive or the last to hold out. Maybe they have more intel on that. Maybe they've been in talks with other members of other world leaders. Who knows? Give us some answers, or at least just drive home the feeling that there's no hope. Either could work. How many episodes? I think only a couple. Get introduced, and then maybe like 2 or 3, just to really be a jerk about it. And what would their death be? One of our Secret Service members turns on her and kills her. Yeah, something like that. That could be interesting. Q&A question number 2. If you were running the show, what currently deceased characters would you keep alive at least for a little while longer? And if you were to kill them, how would they die? Well, I would have wanted to keep Dale around a little bit longer. I feel like he wasn't ready to go. I know, like I mentioned before, Jeffrey DeMunn wanted to leave the show, and that's why they killed him. They could have kept him around a little bit longer. Because I obviously I love Herschel, and I love the Merles as a character, but I think their death, their timing of their death was perfect, and they really helped the story in a big way. So I wouldn't want to keep them around any longer than that. But I'd want to keep Dale around longer, and if I wanted to kill them, it would be to give him his comic death. Because I think, although I thought it was perfect how it was handled with Bob, in the show with the pain and meat. I think it would have been cool to see Jeffrey DeMunn handle that material for the show. Thank you for your questions. Alright guys, that's all I'm going to do for this Q&A. I'm going to just continue recording for the next one, so it's not super long either. I'm going to upload this hopefully tonight, and yeah, I'm going to do some scheduled uploads. I'm probably record a lot tonight and upload a bunch of things as scheduled, so they'll upload over the next few days. Although I won't personally be uploading them, you know, because I'm obviously Christmas Eve tomorrow and then Christmas Day. Thank you guys for watching. I know this is taking forever to get all these questions done. You guys asked a lot, like over 200 people asked questions, which is just, it's insane. And I'm not complaining. I mean, I love answering your guys' questions. It's just, it's a lot. And obviously, I've been very busy as of late, and you guys know that. And I know most of you have been pretty busy as well. So, happy holidays to everyone. Happy Hanukkah to everyone who just celebrated that. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Christmas. But, you know, it doesn't matter what you celebrate. Have happy holidays, happy New Year's, all of that. Safe travels over your vacations, your breaks. Hopefully, for those of you who do work, your bosses are treating you well. You know, that's always nice. And they're not keeping you, you know, insane hours or keeping you on a holiday or anything like that. Wish you guys all the best. Thank you for all your support, and have yourselves a wonderful day.